Ah, yeah. Hello, gorgeous. We are back again with the second video in the tarot series. Today is the Two of Pentacles. As you can see, I have a picture of the Two of Pentacles pulled up on your screen. This is my own personal deck, so you can tell it's a little worse for wear. Anyways, let's jump right into it. So, just like with any other pentacles, the suit of Earth is going to be the dominant suit in this the dominant element in this suit. Excuse me. These are all one shots, so you're going to get to hear me mess up and a lot of stuff. It's all real, it's all natural. I am not a professional video editor. I just want to teach you some of the crazy stuff I know. Anyways, so for the Two of Pentacles, we have the sign of Capricorn being its dominant influence, and the dates between that are going to be like December 22nd through the 30th. It's a very Capricornish sort of energy. Possible times that are suggested of this card is current affairs. So it's going to be like whatever you're going through right at the moment. However, the number 2 is significant, and we'll apply that just general sense, 2 days, 2 hours, 2 months, 2 years, blah, blah, blah. The month, February being another thing, but it's really not February, it's December. Anyways, so you have 2 being significant, but this card really does kind of talk about the present moment. It talks about what you're going through right now. It talks about the energy that you have at this moment. Also, when we talk about the time of day, so we have the times of the year, and now we're talking about the time of day. We're going to be looking at the present moment as well, but 2 a.m. can also be significant. When we're thinking about the Two of Pentacles, when we pull it in a reading, we're going to be thinking of the keywords balance, wealth management, flux, evaluation, exchange, parts of the body that it could have to do is going to be anything that has double organs. So, sorry if you hear my chair squeaking. So we're going to be looking at the eyes, the breasts, the testicles, the nostrils, the ears, particularly the kidneys, and then also the ovaries. So the kidneys being particularly highlighted with this card, and we'll touch on that in a bit. So if we're going to be looking for yes or no answers, as far as the energy of this card, it's going to be unclear. There's going to be more evaluation needed. I would suggest that you look at the cards that are kind of surrounding it to get an overall sense of yes or no-ness, because this one's it's sort of middle of the fence. Okay? Elemental suggestions. The element of Earth rules Pentacles. This card is ruled by Jupiter and Capricorn, and an underactive Earth element can be suggested by this card. And when we're talking about Jupiter in particular, or Jupiter influence, we are going to be looking at the health. We are going to be looking at the kidneys. Jupiter has a big influence on the kidneys. The Two of Pentacles is indicative of kidney health. And if we dig a little further into that, it's not just kidney health, but it's like hydration and, what you're putting in your body and whatnot. But we'll come back to that in a second. So when we see the Two of Pentacles in a reading, we are going to, at least I am going to initially think, okay, where's the imbalance or the fluctuation that could be taking place in this current situation? In love, however, this card can be suggestive of like an unstable attachment, right? Juggling lovers, commitment issues, a lack of stability in the home, possible areas of contention when making agreements about future plans. So like if you have a partner, you and your partner not necessarily agreeing on future plans. Maybe you want to buy a house, maybe you don't want to buy a house. I mean, it could be something financially based, but there's another element to this when you're making decisions with a person, which is one person wanting one style of things and another person wanting another style. This could be one person is predominantly financially focused and the other one's emotionally focused. It really just depends on kind of where the disconnect is between these elements. Okay, so when we think about career and finance, and predominantly, the Pentacles, suit of Pentacles is going to be very earth element. It's going to be finance. It's going to be tangible, material, palpable things. There's another element to this that when it comes to career and finance, it's not just juggling wealth. There's more to it. It's about wealth management in the proper handling of funds. Okay, career changes and evaluation. If you're coming up for a review soon, creating a budget and paying bills. to a lesser degree, job insecurity. Maybe you have a very heavy workload, or you are struggling with a job life balance that is unstable. Decision making and follow through also play a major element in this. If you are a person who loves to plan the future, loves to create goals, and that's a very Capricornian thing. They really do love to set goals for themselves and achieve that. And it's possible that, this is a card that could be surrounding other cards that indicate that maybe future goals, like if you pulled some of the other, well, we'll come back to that. But let's say that future goals could have something to do with this, and whether or not indecision is wrapped around those future goals. Some suggestions for the Two of Pentacles. I would pay close attention to how your body responds to stress. Okay, we talked about the kidneys a little bit earlier, and it's important that you create a strong self care and stress management regimen. Okay, the kidneys are highlighted in this. Awareness of how you eat and drink become more important, because this card's all about homeostasis. It's the goal of this card. And it really wants you to evaluate what you want, what you don't want, where the instability is, weighing your options, getting all the information you can, and really making a good solid foundation to your decision making. I do want to stress, though, that proper hydration and stress management are super important when pulling this card, because this card can be a precursor to some more heavy decision-making cards. So let's just be aware of that when we're pulling it. Now, when this card is pulled in reverse, and for those of you who listened to the first video of mine on the Ace of Pentacles, you'll know that I do not read reverse meanings like negative aspects of the cards. When I pull reverse meanings, I am going to be looking at the person's internal process, their internal state, right? I want to know about their thought process, their mindset, their emotional stability. I want to know what's going on inside of them. So when a person is pulling the Two of Pentacles in reverse, the meaning is going to be generally the same, with the added importance of doing more research, right? And increasing moderation in their decision making, asking for advice and deciding what is really wanted, and looking closer into their mental state. Is there a hidden thought or feeling that could be causing them instability? Is it possible that they have some old belief patterns about decision making, and maybe once they stuck their neck out and made a hard decision, and then that didn't work out for them, and so now they're kind of gun shy about decision making? Is there a way that perhaps in the past they had come across some situations in which they were kind of damned if they did and damned if they didn't? The Two of Pentacles is not just about juggling and weighing of options and evaluating. There's more to it here, especially in reverse. And when it's in reverse, I really want to know about their process, right? Their thinking process, their understanding of how things function in the world. And especially if there's any other surrounding cards that are indicative of indecision, we really want to take a closer look about how they evaluate things in their life. Okay. Whoa, this one was kind of over a little bit quicker than the Ace. I don't have any fun stories on this one. However, a little tidbit about the Two of Pentacles. Now, with all Pentacles, we're going to be looking at finances initially, because that's kind of the overall atmosphere of Pentacle cards. But I do want to place the importance on the body. And I always add an element to the body, because, we are holistic creatures. Just because one element is off in our body does not mean that that's exists in a vacuum. More often than not, if there's an imbalance in the body, there's going to be an imbalance in the life as a whole, right? So when we're looking at the kidneys, and we have there's a fantastic book. Let's see if I can find it. It's called Metaphysical Anatomy, and it is by Yvette Rose. I don't know if you could hear me. I turned away from the camera there, but Metaphysical Anatomy by Yvette Rose. Now, it's a fantastic book, and it breaks down all the organs and how trauma rests within the organs and how we process things. But for the kidneys in particular, we're going to be looking at anger. Anger is processed by the kidneys more often than not. So if this person has been burned before by some other decisions, maybe that were out of their control, maybe that were in their control, maybe somebody made decisions for them, whatever could have created anger. But it's more often than not, if they have resentments built up towards something, you're going to see that Two of Pentacles in reverse, because they're holding on to some trauma that it doesn't necessarily have to be trauma, but there's going to be some element that's residing within the kidneys. And this is, of course, I'm speaking very generally. This does not apply to everybody, but over time, these are things that you come to kind of you come to at least look for. So if we're reading for a person who has, let's say, been divorced, right, and lost everything in the divorce, right? His wife cleaned him out, and now he's trying to figure out whether or not he wants to leave the state. He wants to take this new job. He wants to. You get the idea here, and there's resentment build up in the kidneys from the divorce. It's very likely that this particular guy is going to have a very hard time making decisions when it comes to anything that causes him to gain wealth, because subconsciously there's going to be an element of the fear of losing wealth. Okay, now this is just one element of all of this. Of course, there's about 3,000 ways to read this. This is just one example out of near endless amount of examples. So I would definitely take a look at this person's internal state, dig a little deeper into whether or not they're going to have trauma built up, take a look at the kidneys and how they're managing stress, and just keep in mind that fluctuation is key on this card, both positive and negative. This person could be wishy-washy. They could be just waiting to make the right choices. But either way, we're going to want to look highlighted at stress management and how stable things are and decision making. Alrighty, guys, this one was a little bit quicker than the other one, but hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully we can just get through as quickly as possible. Alrighty, I'm going to wrap it up for now. Love you and be blessed.